As a project manager, of course, after you get your certification, we expect you to behave or to conduct your business in the way that PMI, expect. So let's just briefly talk about the PMI mindset for a minute. It's not quite big, and these are things that you probably already know. Uh, if we are approaching questions from traditional or predictive project management method, or you are approaching questions from agile, the mindset varies. Okay, we are going to start with traditional. So if you're approaching questions from traditional, how are you supposed to behave as a traditional project manager? Number one, identification and analysis of stakeholders is something that is done throughout the project, not just at the beginning. All right. Always follow the plan. Never ever allow changes to the plan without an approved change request. Remember the process of perform integrated change control? You should always follow that process if you have any changes that you want to make to your plan. But always you're supposed to follow the project management plan. Any stakeholder that wants to change, that wants a change, should always submit what we call a change request. And you remember the process of submitting a change request, where you have to make a formal request, and then after that you have to maybe get that reviewed and approved by the change control board. Until now, then you can actually implement that change. All change requests need to be reviewed and assessed. By who? The change control board. Never take actions without first creating a plan. So the whole point in traditional projects is that before you implement anything, you have to have a plan. So if you're going to create any part of the project, you have to have a plan on that. Consult with the project team before making decisions, as they have more practical approach. So you can see these are things that are quite a little bit direct. Okay, so working with the team is very important. Making sure that you can identify the risks associated with the project and all those kind of things. But now I want to come to agile, and the mindset behind agile is quite different. Agile emphasizes, number one, for you to be a servant leader to the team at all times. Remember servant leadership? Your job is about empowering the team, helping them remove any impediments, any obstacles, giving them the tools they need to succeed, while you are staying out of their way. Remember, they are the cross-functional team, the self-leading, self-directing, self-organizing team. They know what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to do it, when they're supposed to do it. So you just need to support them. Always engage the product owner to document the features and prioritize them on the product backlog. Remember the product backlog? Make sure the product owner is the one who is always prioritizing the product backlog. It is his responsibility, is non-transferable. You as a project manager never prioritize the product backlog. All right? It is only the product owner that can prioritize the features on the product backlog. If the product owner refuses to do so because they feel maybe all of them are valuable, you are supposed to train them on the benefits of prioritizing the product backlog. Do not prioritize the features on the product backlog yourself. This is not your job. This is the job of the project, or rather of the product owner. Use features like collocation, bringing the team together. It is very important. Remember, we talked about osmotic communication. When the team is within 33 feet, they can communicate osmotically, if I can say. Face-to-face communications with a whiteboard and markers are the best means of communication. Provide agile teams with lots of space. You can give them a lot of wall space and sticky notes. That is how agile teams actually work. All right. Use of information radiators. These are things we use in agile. Things like charts, burn down charts, burn up charts, graphs. Always, those are the things we use in agile. When it comes to problem solving, always make sure the problems are resolved by your team. Okay, so make sure the solution comes from the team. Your role is to facilitate them, to support them through this process. Another thing is to provide a safe environment for disagreements, what we call a psychologically safe environment. So do not reprimand or punish the team simply because maybe the ideas failed, maybe of the opinion. Okay, these are the things you want to encourage experiments. You want to encourage these initiatives and new things. And you're not going to get that by punishing your team. Try to limit work in progress. When you're using the Kanban method, the Kanban is about limiting work in progress. I was very happy the last time Mr. Gordon gave me his feedback on the use of Kanban. It seems to be working so well for his team. He adopted it. Work in progress is being limited as they're monitoring. That is a good thing. So that is the now, like Gordon, he understands now the idea behind Kanban is about limiting the work in progress. All right. Communicating the vision. Always communicate the vision of the project to the team. Always re-communicate it. Try and understand the needs of the team and find ways of motivating your team. And another thing about Agile, make sure that people understand what failure and success looks like on the project. If you remember, we did things like the pre-mortem, where we were asking the project, rather the stakeholders, to think about the future and the project has failed. Let them think about how the project failed. We also talked about the gulf of evaluation, remember? This is where now we don't agree on what the definition of done is. So you have to be clear on this. As a project manager in Agile, you should be a central figure to the team. You should be a leader, not a dictator. And most importantly, have good ethical values. All right? At the end of the sprint, you're always going to have to do retrospective. This is a time to review the methods you have applied for working. And feedback loops are things which are very important in Agile projects to make sure you capture the lessons learned